Hey crafty friends, how are you all doing? Thank you very much for joining me. This is Einat Kessler with Saturday Extravaganza, and today we're creating a beautiful mixed media art journal page. So let's get started. I have here an old book that is solely for tearing out pages, and I want to just use the printed part. I don't need the margins, the white margins, so I'm just tearing them out. And actually, before we go ahead with that, we need to gesso our page first. So just go ahead with some gesso and seal your page. I'm actually gonna put a little bit, just two plain papers underneath, so my other pages will stay white and dry. So I'm covering my entire page with gesso, actually both pages. And as you know, and we said before, gesso seals your page and keeps it from absorbing all the stuff that you're going to put on it. So now we can add our pieces of old book pages, and I'm just going to glue them down with some gel medium. You can use Mod Podge, you can use, usually Mod Podge and gel medium are the best. So I'm just gonna add them in, and after you glue them down, it's always good to cover them with another coat of gel medium or Mod Podge, whatever it is you're using, so it will seal them again and make sure they're nice and flat on your page and they stick really well, and it will keep them from bubbling up and stuff like that. So after you added your pieces of paper, we're going to start adding some color. First, make sure it's dry, because sometimes it can be sticky if it's not dry, so make sure it's dry. And I'm going to go in with Gelatos. Now, before we used the same technique with water. Remember? We just painted our papers with Gelatos, sprayed them with water, and then it became like water paint. But now what we're going to do is, instead of spraying them with water, I've just sprayed them with color spray. That was Tattered Angel. You can use, I'm going to use also Lindy Stamp Gang. So that makes it blend, and actually we're going to have two colors now, because one color of the gelato and the other color of the spray. So that's a way of blending two colors from two different mediums. And we're going to layer the colors, so make sure that you dry your layers. Now, the first layer I didn't dry it completely because I still wanted my gelatos to blend together, so I kept it a little bit moist. And I'm just adding another shade of blue, and I'm just using my fingers in a circular motion, because I want to have that circular shape on my page, and you're gonna see why in a minute. So instead of going horizontally or vertically, just do circles with your fingers, and you just keep on adding more and more gelatos until you're happy with your background. So I'm using 3 shades of blue. It's all written in the beginning of the video. Oops, rolled away there. So I'm keep on adding more and more gelatos, or colors, until you're happy with the result. And as you know, in mixed media, we're layering and layering more and more mediums, more and more color, more and more paint as we go along. And again, if you don't want your colors to blend too much, then you just dry your page and go on. So I've sprayed another layer of color spray, and you see the little pools. I want them to stay where they are. I don't want to spread them around my page. So I'm just drying them with my heat tool and wherever they are. And now I'm blending the whatever wet parts that are left with another shade of blue gelato. So all of that gives me lots of blue layers of color. And the leftover pools of the color spray gives me enough moisture to blend the gelato as well onto my page. It sort of embeds it into the page. And if you find that some parts like here are too dry, then you just spritz them with a little bit of water. And the gesso here makes it possible to do all that without the paper tearing or, you know, starting to crumble, and that would happen if you do not gesso your page in the beginning. It will happen, trust me. So it's always good to just gesso your paper, and then you can do basically whatever you want to the paper and it will take everything. So I keep on adding more and more color with a circular motion, and it's coming out really nicely. So now I'm going to add another layer, and this is a really cool stencil by Crafters Workshop that I like. It's called Explosion, and I'm using dimensional paint, which is kind of a paint with modeling paste all in one. It's by Art Anthology, and I'm gonna go in with a little bit of circles here on the stencil, and we're gonna do double stenciling. Now, double stenciling is really fun. You dry your first layer that you just did with your heat tool, and then you position your stencil in the exact same place that you did before to do your first layer, and you add another color or medium. Now this is a little bit of gesso that I'm just adding, and because the stencil is positioned at the exact same place, the color or the gesso goes over the exact same circles. So that's really cool. You just need to find that place, and that's called double stenciling. And it has a really nice effect because it's a double color. You can go triple, you can go, you know, as many times as you want. And I'm just going over with a little bit of gesso just to give it a little bit more white. See, isn't that cool? And of course you have to dry everything with your heat tool. And now I'm going to go in the middle and do the same thing because I want some more circles. So first layer is going to be the dimensional paint, and then we're going to dry everything and position our stencil again and go in with another medium or another color. That gives you a really, really cool effect. And there you go. Again, don't forget to dry everything. And I'm gonna go with some more gelatos on top of my two color stenciling, just to embed it more into the background. And again, if it's too dry, you just spritz it with a little bit of water, and then it won't be a problem. And you just keep on going until you like how it looks, and you have all those different shades of blue here, which is amazing. It's really pretty, I think. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more there. And after this is all dry, I'm gonna add just a little bit of white. I'm gonna spritz over my gesso here, and just like a very light shade of white, and again dry everything so it will stay white and won't blend with the other blue colors. And I'm gonna go in with some more gesso just to add a little bit more white here and there, because the white just makes the blue pop out more. It blends really well, so I really like how that adds another layer, another texture, another color to the page. So after that, again, dry everything. Always dry, don't forget, because otherwise everything will blend with everything and it will become one big mess. So this is another stencil, and I'm using this one because I want the circles to be in a line. And I'm going to use Ink Gold. This is a metal paste paint that has really nice effect. You use your finger, and I'm just going to do one row of circles from top to bottom. It's very you can hardly see it, but I'm going to go in with another color that's going to pop it out more, a little bit more. And going to do the same thing on the other side. And again, double stenciling. This is again Ink Gold, but this is gold paint, and I'm positioning the stencil exactly on top of the other of the circles that I just did with the blue Ink Gold, and I'm going over them with a little bit of the gold color, just a tiny little bit, to make them pop. And since they're in the row, it's really easy to find where I did them, so now it's much clearer. And some more color, because now we're gonna drippage. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna spray the top of your page with a lot of spray, and then tilt your art journal, and everything will drip towards the bottom. And the trick here is to do it in stages. So once you like the positioning of your drippage, you dry it out with your heat tool, and then you spray some more and create more drippage. Don't try to create them all at the same time, because then it will again be a big mess. Just go one at a time, and then you'll have more control. Although bear in mind that you can't really control where it goes, only partially control it. So that's the fun part, that you don't know where it's going to go. You just know it's going to go towards the bottom, but not the way it's going to take. So that's the fun part, you guys. Don't worry about it. Wherever it goes, it's fine. So I'm going to create more, and I'm using 2 shades of blue with my color sprays. You have the exact names at the beginning of the video. Another one on this side. See, it goes to the side, it goes to the bottom, it goes wherever it wants. You can't control it. Don't even try. So I'm drawing them as I go along, and I'm going to create a little bit of pools down there as well, and just dry them out immediately after you're happy with the way they look. And then you can spray some more. This way you have more control of where you're spraying and where it goes. Maybe a little bit more there. Oh, that's a nice drippage. That's a nice one. So now I'm gonna stamp my man with the umbrella. I'm using, of course, black StazOn, because otherwise, if you have to use permanent ink, not the one that like distressing, that will go over the, it will blend and it will smear, and you need a really strong ink. So anyway, I guess my ink is a little bit dry, so I'm just gonna do another stamp and use this the black Pit marker by Faber-Castell. Thank God for sheer acrylic stamps that you can double stamp and see exactly where you're at. So I'm gonna just complete the image with the pen here, with the marker, because apparently I couldn't stamp it properly. It wasn't just a flat surface, so the stamp only went to some parts, the ink I mean. So just gonna fill the blanks with my pen here. And that would look just great. And this is the umbrella here. Just I'm gonna go in with a black pen just to add some more definition to the image by going around the image. The shoes and the pants and the hands and everything. And it will give it a more hand-drawn look. So I think my little guy here is ready. And what I want to add is my quote. And I'm using oil pastels here. White oil pastels. And the quote is going to be, "Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain." So now you understand why we wanted our gelatos to be in a circular shape, because they mimic the image of clouds. So that was my point. So I'm going to go in with a pen nib and some black ink and write my quote. And you can see all the storm that's going around this guy here, with all the drippage and the clouds and the blue color of the sky and everything. So it's really appropriate for this quote. So I'm just gonna keep on writing. I really like writing and working with the pen nib. It's so much fun. Makes me feel like I went back in time, because not too long ago, people used to write with feathers and pen nibs and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Plus you can do it on any surface, so you don't need a special pen or something to write on after you put all those mediums on your page. So this is like the best way. And I'm gonna write the word dance with the same white oil pastel that I used for the word life, because those are the happy words of the quote, and they create a really nice contrast with the black part of the quote. So I'm going to finish here, and I really hope we're going to get some rain soon, because it's still so hot in here. It's like summer is too long. So this is the page. I really love how it turned out. Look at all the shimmer and the texture and the shapes and the layers of color that we have here. And I want to thank everyone for joining me. I hope you were inspired and that maybe you learned something new, and you're going to create a Stormy art journal page like I did. I had a lot of fun, you guys. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to see you all next Saturday in our Saturday Extravaganza video tutorial. And have a great weekend, you guys. Bye.